Everything is about to change at the end of this month, and in this video, I am going to be outlining everything regarding exactly why, but also I am going to be playing clips from Brad Garlinghouse, literally warning you about what's about to happen. So with that being said, welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. Let's take a quick look at what has been happening this year. Let's go back to March, where we did see Tether USDT get delisted on crypto exchange OKX for EU users. Now, this was one of many, because this quickly morphed into Uphold also delisting USDT and 5 additional stablecoins by July 1st, citing Mika. And what's interesting about this is, there was a lot of other exchanges talking about this. Kraken was also another one that was potentially going to delist, Tether. I mean, when we really think about what's about to happen, 2025 is almost, here. We're less than, 2 weeks out. 2025 is going to be the year of regulations. We see it around the world right now. Everyone is watching as all of these other nations are setting out on a path to bringing in a regulatory framework. And the US, with a pro-crypto admin, is also going to do the same exact thing. This year, I have been focused on Mika heavily because I keep telling everyone, this is going to accelerate it. It's going to accelerate the move towards regulations in every single country around the world. If we go over here, Coinbase, this was on December 12th, actually. Coinbase prepares to delist Tether's USDT stablecoin in Europe. Coinbase said it will assess re-enabling services for stablecoins that achieve Mika compliance at a later date. But I do find it very hard to believe that Tether will become Mika compliant. I mean, I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt, but as we really look at Tether and their overall past experiences, especially when it comes to compliance checks and transparency, they have missed the target every single time. But I bring all of this up because I want to go over here to this video clip going back to June 1st, where Brad Garlinghouse went out to say that Tether is not untouchable. Tether is going to lose market share, and he is telegraphing that this, is going to happen. This is going to happen. You should prepare. You should get ready. And by the way, this isn't the first time that he said this. This is like the third or fourth time. But check this out.
So you're getting into the business of stablecoins. It's pretty crowded, $200 billion, the collective market cap, Tether, USDC, other players. Why now?
Well, look, I think if you look at where the market is going, well, you're right. It's somewhere between 150 and $200 billion today. I think forecasts are that's going to be somewhere around 2 trillion to 3 trillion. So that's growth of 10 to 20x where it is today. So that in of itself is those are fun markets to be in, that they're growing quickly. The second is, I think there's likely to be some shifts in market share. Today, Tether is by far the dominant. The U.S. government, for better or for worse, we can debate. The U.S. government has expressed concerns about Tether and how it operates outside of the United States, representing a U.S. dollar. I think the U.S. government has taken the position, well, if you're representing a U.S. dollar, you need to be regulated by the United States. That isn't the case today, and I think there may be some shifts in how that market share. But look, overall, I think Tether will continue to grow. I think USDC will continue to grow. But I think there's a lot of room as that market grows for a Ripple-backed stablecoin.
So he definitely does sound the alarm on the fact that, if we're thinking about Tether, it's basically mimicking a digital dollar, but it's not regulated within the US. Even today, if we actually go and look it up, right, we have, yes, Tether is not approved by the New York Department of Financial Services. The New York Department of Financial Services and BitLicense, they oversee cryptocurrency operations in New York and requires companies operating with virtual currencies to obtain a Bit license. Tether's legal issues in 2021, Tether and its sister company Bitfinex reached a settlement with the New York Attorney General. They accused Tether of misrepresenting its reserves, and financial health. As part of the settlement, they agreed to pay $18.5 million in terms of a fine, and Tether was banned from doing business with Newark residents and entities. Regulation status: Tether does not hold a BIT license, which means it is not regulated or legally approved by the New York Department of Financial Services to operate in New York. This restriction applies specifically to New York. Tether remains widely used globally, but faces ongoing scrutiny regarding its reserves and regulatory compliance in various jurisdictions. This alone allows RLUSD to quickly speed, by Tether, in my opinion, especially with all the connections that Ripple does have. But this is just one of many. If we go over here, we have Tether is a non-US based entity, and the US, frankly, is going after that. This is Brad Garlinghouse again, a US-based player who is compliance first, has a great role to play.
The players in that space, particularly one called Tether, is a non-US based entity. And the US, frankly, is kind of going after that because they want this to be regulated. Just yesterday, there's a new bill introduced in the Senate to create some stablecoin legislation, which I think is a positive step of like, hey, finally, we might get some forward momentum there. But I think that market's going to grow a lot. I think a US-based player who is compliance first has a great role to play.
It's a great...
Now, on top of this, there was an interview with Tony Edward from Thinking Crypto One with Brad Garlinghouse regarding the stablecoin vision, leaving USDC and USDT for RLUSD. Check it out.
And I would love to start with RLUSD stablecoin. How does this fit into Ripple's vision for payments? Is it something different, or it's a puzzle piece into the grander picture?
It's definitely a puzzle piece in the grander picture. To put maybe a little macro context around it, Ripple has been using stablecoins in our payment flows for years, and you've used Tether, we've used USDC. There's actually a point in time where our institutional flows represented 20. Because of that, we were minting 20% of all USDC. And so we're kind of looking at that. And then we look at what happened during the banking crisis where USDC depegged by 7%. And, I kind of came to the conclusion there's an opportunity here, given that we are driving a lot of activity, a lot of velocity, a lot of liquidity, and the fact, frankly, that we have a very strong balance sheet, that we felt like there was an opportunity for Ripple to play in this market.
And I would love to start with RLUSD stable.
So as we really think about what's happening here, all right, Ripple is on a path. They're on a path here to not care about what Tether or even Circle does. All they're really kind of worried about is making sure that this stablecoin has everything it possibly needs in order to really take a big piece of the stablecoin market. And in my opinion, by doing everything that Ripple has been doing, it does set them on, track to really kind of ultimately, in my opinion, take over as the dominant force when it comes to the stablecoin market. Especially when we think about the regulatory, side of things, the compliance checks, the transparency side of things, how trusted Ripple is as a name. And then if we think about what happens at the end of this month with MICA, markets and crypto assets, this is officially going into action at the end of this month, December 30th. You can see the full timeline here. This goes all the way back to 2020, by the way. But 2024 was the year where we start to see the big moves being made. And if we look at December 30th, we have all remaining provisions fully apply, requiring compliance from all crypto asset service providers within the EU. This is the deadline. This is going to be a very big deal, and everything is going to change from that point on because of the accelerant that MICA is. It is a massive game changer for crypto regulations, and I think everyone should be aware of this. Now, on top of this, there was a great report put out by Smoke Dog, and we have the fall of Tether has begun. Tether may have reached its peak dominance in the stablecoin market. In a newly released crypto outlook report for 2025, institutions are signaling that Tether is gradually losing its grip on the market. This also does support the fact that Brad Garlinghouse did say that, Tether will still be around. Tether might still, do good, but they're going to lose market dominance. After hitting 71.3% market share in January, its dominance has stagnated at around 69.7%. It's very similar to Bitcoin, right? Everyone's always talking about how Bitcoin is going to go to 70% or 80% market dominance again. There is absolutely no way. It's impossible, in my opinion, for Bitcoin to reach those levels again, simply because of how many players are in this market now And also the fact that a lot of people just don't care to buy Bitcoin anymore. They want to buy altcoins. They see better ROI with altcoins. But we also have new stablecoins like Athena Labs USDE and Usual Money's USDO are rapidly gaining traction. With the launch of RLUSD, Tether's market share is expected to take further hits. In Europe, USDT is facing delistings due to non-compliance with MiCA regulations. Meanwhile, Circle's recent partnership with Binance is driving USDC adoption on the largest centralized exchange. Tether's once uncontested dominance is now showing weakness for the first time ever. And this is all documented within this report. And you can see that here. It's definitely going to be very interesting to see what happens here with the EU market around Tether. I think that Tether is going to lose a very significant amount of that market. We know that Ripple is already planning on, pushing into the EU market. They already have major licenses that set them up to really kind of take a big piece of the EU market already. So in my opinion, we are about to witness something very significant here around the stablecoin market, especially once regulations do hit this market. And also remember this, where Brad Garlinghouse explained why it is easier for Ripple to repeg its stablecoin to $1 than USDC. USDC didn't move partly because I think Circle does not have a big balance sheet, he stated. And then also even with Tether, he revealed that Ripple has a large balance sheet of 20 billion to 30 billion behind it. Hence, it can easily repeg the stablecoin to $1. And you can see side by side how these stablecoins have historically, depegged. And, with Tether, again, we go back to the whole idea that Ripple is going to be 100% transparent when it comes to reserves. They are already fully compliant. So I don't think that Tether is a big competitor to RLUSD if we're really thinking about it in, a competitive light. But also over here we have, it has been documented for months that Tether would lose market share to superior stablecoins, and now it is finally happening. See it for yourself. And here we have, this might imply that USDT will continue to lose market dominance to regulated stablecoins in the future regarding, MiCA approval. And then also over here we have, as a result, USDC's reputation for reliability and compliance could lead to a significant shift in market share from USDT to USDC. And also stablecoin expansion. In 2024, the stablecoin market is predicted to reach a new record high, surpassing $200 billion, driven by the launch of markets in crypto assets regulated stablecoins in Europe. USDC is expected to overtake Tether in market share. Know your customer infractions and market manipulation affecting Tether's market position. So they're already outlining a lot of the negativity behind Tether in terms of, over time, we see these things add up, but it's the fact that if we go back to this image over here, where Tether had to settle out that $18.5 million fine, it was banned from doing business in New York. I mean, this was a big accusation from the New York Attorney General, but this is one of many issues around Tether that just add up. It's all pressure, especially in a regulated market where these other stablecoin issuers are working with regulators. They're trying to be 100% compliant, and they're also very transparent. Then also over here, we have USDC dominance increased year over year as institutions moved away from Tether. And we could see USDC here. I'm telling you guys right now, I am 100% focused on what RLUSD is doing and what RLUSD will become. Everything changes at the end of this month. We already hear talks about how Trump wants to, make sure that crypto thrives in the US. He wants to make sure that the US is a crypto hub. How will we do this? Well, we will have pro-innovation and also regulation, right? Regulatory moves that are going to allow this space to grow in a big way. And guess what? US-based companies like Ripple and even technically Circle could benefit greatly from this. And I do think that the RLUSD stablecoin from here on out, people are going to be very surprised on how big RLUSD really does become. And I think everyone, I really do think everyone should focus on the facts behind some of these stablecoin issuers. I mean, Tether, it's been documented for years now. There's a lot of great documentaries actually on YouTube outlining all the problems with Tether. I still think that they're here. A lot of people still think, oh, no way, Tether's never going to disappear. It's going to take some time, but I do think that it all starts by the end of this year. I think that with Mika, it's going to be a lot of pressure, especially around the EU market. And I do think that that's going to affect Tether in a big way. And I think that that's when we start to see a lot of dominance usurped from Tether into USDC and potentially even other stablecoins like ROUSD. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on for some more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.